I'm here to tell you that it's forgiveness. Jesus speaks about forgiveness a lot. Amen. Do you know that 70 times 7, that's 490 on each one? I think that Jesus was saying forgiveness is really, really big. Now, some of you know that I think I've practiced forgiveness in my life. I think you have practiced forgiveness in your life. I don't know how you did it, what your process is, because I probably haven't asked that direct question. But I can tell you, in the beginning of me making my life, let's say straighten my life up, that don't fit too good. In the beginning of me, of me going, what am I? I'm in this marriage with my husband and something ain't working. I lay on the floor with the dog better than I do in the water bed with my husband. I don't know why. Then one day, ding, oh, I'm one of them, I think. Well, I had to get out of the marriage because I didn't want to go out and find out by finding somebody because that just isn't in my nature. So I got a plastic garbage bag and I loaded up stuff and moved out. Then we came back at another time to get some more of this stuff. I just left everything. Left the house, all the stuff we'd paid for. I just wanted enough to get started. I had some, what you might call heaviness in my soul about that whole relationship thing and the things that I had done up to the time I was 26. So I got pretty active in opening my mouth when I had vodka. Not that I got totally addicted to it, but I sure drowned a lot of things. Every morning I woke up, there was the same things, only bigger now. So I took some principles from a 12-step program and I practiced what it said. I wrote everything down. I took an inventory. Then I bucked it up to go talk to somebody. And then the forgiveness began. That was a part of my journey to this place now. So I had to come to the place that I was drinking because I had so much to forgive and let go of. Last week I was on vacation and I went to see my mother, and boy, I'll tell you, I pumped it up. I talked to my therapist, I talked to myself another person, so that I was in the right framework to go home. I had no idea, what God was going to do for me. Ricky says this was a revelation. So I got home and my mom started talking about my dad who died when I was 11. And she says, your dad was so sick the last 6 months of his life he didn't play with you very much. Oh man, I went to that little 11-year-old that didn't want her dad to die. And how sorrowful I felt about his death. Then my mom went to my stepdad, and I jumped into when I was 13, and how I just so disliked he was coming in to take my dad's place. And I held on to that. I was going to work at not liking him. Have you ever done that? Actually work at not liking or hating somebody. That's what I did so fervently. Then we talked about my brother who just died a couple years ago. And by that time I'm going, Mom, you remember stories. I don't remember the same way. And it kind of tilted me a little bit, you know what I mean? If you got something you remembered about a situation and they looked at it differently. I used to work with couples. I'd hold up a Pepsi can and I'd say, now you tell me what you see and you tell me what you see. And they're both, they can agree they're looking at a Pepsi sign, but one's telling what is a formula and the other one's looking at the logo. And that's couples. Sometimes we come together and we're looking at things just the same but differently. And we get to fighting over who's right. I used to tell people take a puppy dog, a little fuzzy puppy dog, not a real one. Not a real dog. Stuffed puppy dog, go out and bury it. And then every time someone brings up what you've already cussed and discussed, go dig that dog up again. Set it in front of you and go again. It was a good example. There were people that were out burying their puppy dogs. Not real ones, just the stuffed ones. And when another one come up in a couple and started bringing up that past story, they went out and dug that dog up and said, let's kick it some more. You know what I'm saying? That's not forgiving. That is not forgiving. So as I'm sitting there, I start to have lots of memories coming up. Lots of memories. Things I couldn't access in Great Falls. I needed to be home. You know, and I thought, I have all that stuff. I already did it. Why is all this coming forward? And then I said to myself, I heard God say, Gina, you're going to go deeper than just writing it down. You're going to go and look at your accountability in every situation I had. You cannot blame because you played and I played. We play in every situation. We have a part of that situation. Nobody doing anything to you. You can look at it that way, but don't get you very far. Kind of lay on the mat. Jesus says, stand up, and you go, Jesus said, get off that mat, you walk, I'm here with my memories that I've just stocked. So I was willing. I said, well, what is the deeper place of forgiveness? I'll just give you the one example because I talked about Bill, my stepdad. I realized that in that blended family, which a lot of you know what a blended family is, they happen a lot now. In that blended family, my part was that I brought the feeling of hate and the feeling of anger. I brought those in. I brought those into that relationship. Every door I slammed, everything I said underneath my breath, everything that happened, I was bringing a portion into our house. Now I know today when that happens here, when people bring stuff in and it happens here, it is chaotic. And you know what I did? I said, I realized that my mom has not a lot of skills, and that to have Bill saved her life. She had him for 30 years. He was a good man. He was a good man. And he made my mom feel safe, and they were taken care of. You know, when he had a stroke, my mom used to do everything she needed to do to help him get over that stroke. She stayed with him. She said, you know, there's money and an inheritance that she got. And she says, you know what, Gina? I tried to be the best wife I could to both Lonnie and Bill. Lonnie's my dad. And I'd never thought of it that way. So what I did was I called my mom and Bill in spirit to be before me. And I said, I want to ask, and I said it humbly. I said humbly. I humbly said, could you please forgive me for that child that I was? I would be so very grateful if you would forgive me of all those slammed doors. And I'm so sorry. You know, I had people right next to me when I was doing this said, well, Gina, you're only 11 years old. And I thought, I'm accountable.